everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you've just seen, I've been and measured up my log burner in my living room. This week I shall show you how far I've got with the skirting board in the snug, but also I had a bit of a disaster. The film footage of me doing the fireplace was actually between Christmas and New Year, and I settled to creating the log burner on camera, and I was doing okay. I wasn't doing too badly. I'm not sure my measurements were any good, but there we go. But I persevered with it, I carried on with it, I put it all together, and all I wanted was the box shape with the back, the top, bottom and two sides. And really that's all that was needed. And then this happened. That's good. Well, that's looking impressive. I've just broken it. And so that was a complete disaster. I had spent ages. I cut each piece out. I thought I was quite happy with it, but clearly it wasn't going to do what I wanted it to do. And it's because I went with some really rough measurements. If I show you, that's what I was working with. And so I had to leave it. I was so mad. I was so upset, and I was desperately trying to, further on that video, trying to put it all back together again so I could see my mistake, etc, etc. So what I decided to do was, I didn't retake the measurements, but I took the measurements off this and I drew that. And I think that's a proper representation of basically the two sides, the top, the bottom and the back. And that's really all I wanted to achieve. I very quietly, a few days ago now, went back to it. It's good to leave things when they've gone wrong. But I've left this a few weeks actually. But I have now done what I wanted to do, and that is create the structure of the log burner that's going to go in the snug, in the fireplace. So I'm very pleased with this so far, but this is only part of it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to attempt to show you the next bit. And hopefully I might get this right. But first of all, let me take you across to the house and you can see how far I've got with the skirt. Oh, so here we go. I'm in the living room. I have done this side of the room. I haven't done across the back because I need to do the door, put the door furniture on. But I have done this side. And if I just take you round, all right underneath the stairs. So I am very, very pleased with that. As I say, I've just got the door to fit in here. I now have the cladding that's arriving very, very soon, and I shall obviously eventually look to cladding the outside and sorting out all the outside doors. The doors come to the outside and the windows, and that goes for the front as well. But I don't know about you, I think that was rather a good job, well done. So I'll get on now and put some furniture on the door and then finish off with the skirting board. So what I've got now is I'm looking at my door furniture for the French doors out from the snug to see what I've got in terms of knobs, etc. I'm not sure even whether this isn't going to be a delayed job. Oh, here we go. There's one which is a double-sided brass, so it on the screws and goes through, so that's one. Oh, and there's the other one, so that's good. So I've got 2 of those. Now I noticed that I haven't put door furniture on the door from the ground hall. So I'm just seeing what I've got and if I've got anything that will probably work. Yes, I do. And I think I'm going to go again with a brass knob. Decisions. Let me do that. I'll put this back in here for now. These are the only 2 that I've got where you go straight through the wood and then you fix it and screw it in to place. So actually, I don't feel there's any glue needed. I just need to make sure that the hole that I'm drilling is going to be the right size to get, whoops, the larger shaft through. Okay, right, well I know where I'm going to do it. Let me just get my little ruler. I'm going to take it halfway up, I think. Some would say maybe a third. I don't know. I want them that low. I can't think what I've done for the other doors. So I think what I'll do is, I'll tell you what, I'm going to run them in line with that bottom, and I'm kind of eyeballing it where it should go really. It's probably not a very satisfactory way of doing it, but it's the way I'm going to do it. Right, let's just try and see if that, yes, that goes in perfectly. Right, let me put the other side in as well. So this is inside the house, and then turn it round. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to order up a load more of these. I like these. I like the fact that you can screw them in and they pretty much stay. Hey. And this is the one thing I habitually forget to do before I fit doors. And I've noticed I've got no knob on the door at the back of the great hall, and I've certainly got no furniture on the kitchen door either. So there we go. Those are the door knobs on. Can I find, I'm going to have a look now and see what I've got in terms of the perspex that goes in the slots. I've located the original pieces. Let me just make sure. Yes, they're the ones. So I'll just peel off one side, and peel off the other. Oh, it's all sticky. That's in the bin. I'm going to slot one piece of glass in there, like so. I'm not going to glue them in. I don't think there's any need for it. I just like the way that they have made the channel to fit this perspex going in. So let's just take that off there. There we go. And of course the next bit is to actually fit this now into the snug. Oh, very, very pleased. So that's worked beautifully. So I'm very, very happy with that. What I will do now is I'm going to go round glue that's, right, let's just do this way. I'm going to go around all three sides. Ooh, I don't think I wanted to get it on the front quite like that, but still, never mind. Let's just make sure it's there. Let me take that little bit off. Yikes. Right, I think that's ready to be fitted. So here we go. Now, forgive me, I've got a camera on a tripod. I've got a very narrow gap to the side of the tripod for me to get the door through. It's not a lot of room at all, but if I just pop that in the gap, there we go, and there, oh, careful, get the glue off there, Leslie. Excess glue, don't want that. Right, and that, folks, is that. Oh, wow. And if I just bring the camera back, oh, I am pleased with that, so pleased. As you can see, I put a door on there, no door furniture. I've got a door going outside, again, no door furniture. And I've got those doors, no door furniture. Now then, what's interesting on this side in the family room is, oh, sorry, I've got the lamps in the way. You can't really see. I have changed my mind, I think. I think I would like wood inside. I don't know what possessed me to do it in white, but I think in order to get the balance right across with that door there and with that door there, I want to redo that other door. I think it really would look so much nicer, and I will do the windows at the same time. So I'm going to have a think about that, and then I'll come back to that and make a decision on it. So let me just say that once the door is dried into place, then I'll finish off the skirting board either side. Right, so I'm back. I've got the log burner, and what I've done, I've made the shape, but I put an extra shelf here. And this is for when I put the lighting in, that's going to give me the glow effect inside. Now, in addition to that, what I did off camera was I created an outer cover. And so that little shelf, if you see, is just sitting there. And the idea is that I'm going to cut out another door that will sit on top of that, and then that will look like it could open. It won't open because there is no way I've got enough on the side in order to build some sort of hinge. So that's not going to work. And the next part will be making a stand for it. And I'm going to take an independent piece of wood, which is just slightly bigger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it along the front, and I'm going to cut the shape out for the legs, and I'm going to do the same down the sides to the back. So I'm going to get on with that and see how I do. So off camera, what I've done is I've made that base. I've left the back open because nobody's going to see it, but the idea now is that I'm going to attach that. So let me just grab my glue. I've got the small bottle of my wood glue here, and I'm just going to put this on the bottom and then attach that base. Now I've given it so that you can see the legs at the front and the gap, but I didn't worry about the sides, I just left that. So I'm just going to put those two pieces together like so, and I think that will do. Let me just show you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just leave that to dry. Let me just make sure it's positioned in the right place. I'm going to let that go off and dry, and then the whole thing is ready for a coat of paint. And I've decided I'm going to use some really dark anthracite, almost black paint to do all that bit there. So let me just pop it down where it can be drying, and I'm going to just leave that. I'm just wondering whether to put some pressure on it with something heavy. Actually, let me do this. You probably can't see it, sorry. Let me just turn the camera slightly. There it is in the top, in the corner here. I'm just going to put the glue bottle on the top and that can dry. So coming back now to the table, I'm just going to bring the table up slightly. Now the other thing that I've got to do is sort of make a sort of door for the front of the log burner. So I measured up a piece of wood that I felt was going to work, and in order that I don't break the side pieces, what I've done is I've put it onto some masking tape, and I'm just gently, I'm going across this way as well, and this is across the grain. This is quite an essential place to do this, because what you're doing is you're creating a stop when you go with the grain. But just for the moment, I'm just going to do this going across, and I'm hoping that by putting the masking tape in position on the back, it will help it not to split. Let's just flip it over. Yes, I can see it's going through there. Right, let's just go down here as well. See how we're doing. I'm just taking it from the corner in, no more than that. I'm trying not to score all the way down in one go for fear of going beyond the routed out bits that I made at the beginning. Yeah, it has. You can see where it's broken. You can see where it's broken. It's hanging. So what I'm going to do is try and lift out this middle bit. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, because I can see where the weak spots are, I'm going to keep it on this masking tape. I'm just going to drop some glue in those cracks and glue it up again. Let's move that out of the way. There's one across there and one across there. And of course, my life is made so much easier by the fact that it doesn't matter how much glue goes anywhere. The bottom line is this is going to be painted, so it really matters not. So if we look at this now, with this one, which is also really delicate, the idea is that that sits on there. Now I'm wondering whether or not to actually glue this into place, because if I glue it into place, then these bad bits will be sorted. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is, let me just tidy up. I did have some other glasses here, but I'm clearly not around at the moment. Right, let's just take some grotty bits off. Yes, I'm going to glue it this way up and get that put into place. That is the back, which is fine. There's the front. That's all glued together. I am going to clamp it. So what I'm going to do now, it's dried. I've just been outside for a few minutes. If I now take the corner of this, oh gosh, doesn't want to go. Right, let's take that. There we go. And, oh, that's not too bad. Oh, I'm quite pleased with that. That was a good job done. So there we go. There's something I've learnt. The idea is that now will stick into place. But before I do any of that, I am going to go and spray paint this out in the garage in the bitter cold, and I'll get some spray paint on this and that will be all done. Now before I go out and do that, the other thing is that I've been able to find out from a friend of mine, Joe, that the flue that comes up worked, in reality, it's, I think he said it was 124 millimeter diameter. So that's 124. So that was the diameter. So I've reduced that down and I've made it a centimetre. Now I have, and I don't know whether this is going to work, I have an old straw from a juice bottle. Got rid of the juice bottle, but actually I'm just going to check with my digital calipers. Let me turn that on, put that to 0. Oh, hang on, no, let's put that to 0. Just open that up to about a centimetre, and that is just like, it's shy. It's not actually, yes, okay, Ozzy, we can hear you. There we go. It's actually 9 millimetres. Well, do you know something? I don't mind. I think that will work very nicely. I just get the overall height of this so that when I put it into the fireplace, it's going to work. Now, as far as gluing it to this, I'm going to use super glue because it's plastic. But first of all, what I'm going to do is measure the height, the overall height of the aperture, so I know exactly how much of this I need to cut off. I've just done that. The overall height of the whole thing is 78 millimetres. So I'm just going to check the height of this, which is 52. So 78 minus 52, which gives me 26 millimetres height of the pipe. So let me just measure along. Start from the 10. So 26 means that the pipe needs to be cut about there. And somehow I've got it marked. Hopefully I can do this. I think I'm going to use my cutting jig. I've got it marked and I'm going to use, sorry, I'm just about to see what I'm doing here. I've made a mark. I'm just going to go down and, yeah, slice through, and that can sit on there, and hopefully that will then fit into the space. I'm really pleased with this. I'm really delighted. So what I will do is I'm going to check this out first and make sure that this works, and then I'll come back and I'll glue it into place. I've been in the garage, I've painted the log burner, and I've painted the door as well. And what I'm going to do now is use a little bit of glue and glaze that's in this container, and I'm going to just dot, I'll show you. I'm going to put some dots, I don't know whether you can see them, in the gaps, and I'm just going to put in, just need to peel the backing off this Perspex. I found a tiny piece, which is always good, using up your leftovers. Right, let's get that in. I'm going to take the other side off as well now, because once it's in, it might be a bit more difficult to handle to get the other side off. So there we go. Oh, static. Right, and I'm just going to slide that in. just on top of that and on top of that. And I'm going to leave that now to just dry into place, and then I'll be able to put this whole thing together. So very, very pleased with what I've achieved here. I used a spray paint, and the spray paint is called Anthracite Grey. So that's good. That's all done now. The next bit, of course, is I need to thread through the back, and this also will have to go through the back of the house, the main wall, and outside, and then I'm going to have to work out how to put it in to make this work well. So that will sit in there like so. I haven't got any other lighting. Okay, so there we go. That's it so far. Very pleased with that. And once I've got the logs in, I'm also going to test it and make sure this works with my electrical supply that I've got. So I just temporarily wired this all up, and there is the light inside. It looks as if the larger bulb comes on periodically. Oh, there we go. So it's giving me some sort of flicker effect. So very pleased with that. That can now stay. And what I'll do is I'll build up inside with logs, etc., and that'll give a better effect. So that's a good job done. I'm going to leave it there now, and I'm going to probably add in, I'm just looking at it now, I'm going to add in what looks like a vent at the bottom here with a tiny black knob, and I will also put a handle on, although obviously it won't be a working handle. But this is still a little tacky, so I'm going to leave this to go off completely, and then I'll finish it off and get the whole thing installed into the house. So that's it for this week. Very happy with my log burner, although I must say I'm wondering whether to get a slightly different fitment inside the burner. But altogether, yes, that's come together really nicely. Next time, I'm hoping that I will be looking at either doing the roof slates on Crossley House, or I might even start doing the cladding. And that is a really, really big job. I know the roof space is going to be a big job, but the cladding is going to be something else. So until then, I shall depart now, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.